Hey everyone, Church of STFU here. So this is in response to a bit of a discussion that's been going on with a couple of YouTubers that I'm familiar with, WatcherAzazel, MetalSkinStudio's Smiling Skeptic, I guess, who I don't really know, chimed in the comment section, and then McDonaldScott just now made a couple of videos, and there was a bit of back and forth between WatcherAzazel and McDonaldScott 24. I hope I'm getting that name right. And it's to do with the introduction of Sharia law to handle civil court cases, and whether that's a good thing or not, whether it should be permissible or not. In my opinion, it is basically if we're allowing civil arbitration of cases, and when we have civil arbitration, we allow people to choose their own arbiter, and the arbiter can choose a set of rules that they think appropriate, then I think we have to allow Muslims to do exactly the same as everyone else. And since most of us agree that freedom of religion is a good thing, which means both the state not establishing but also not preventing one from following one's religious feelings, then that means that we cannot, in that case, force someone to either use a religious arbiter or not use a religious arbiter. So if we're making this all a voluntary thing, then we have to accept the fact that people will choose their religious arbiters, and those could be Christian of any denomination, they could be Buddhist, or they could be Muslim. And to me, the fundamental question here isn't are Muslims too dangerous somehow and their laws too crazy that we can't allow this to happen. My question is, well, if we're so worried about Muslims somehow introducing arbiters that we're worried about, then obviously that means that we're actually worried about the entire system of this private arbitration, because that means that we're worried about people being able to introduce rules to this private arbitration which will cause harm to individuals. And I think those are two different arguments. The one argument being, if we allow private arbitration, do we allow Sharia law to be one of those means of private arbitration? And to that I would have to say, well, if we do allow it, then we have to allow Sharia law, as long as that Sharia law the decision abides by all of the country's laws, of course, like they would in these cases. So they can't violate, obviously, laws. So they can't stone someone, for example. So that's the one question to which I have to say emphatically, yes, we have to allow people to choose their Muslim arbiters if we're letting them choose. The other question is, should we be letting people choose on civil cases? And that's a different argument, and there I would have to say, well, I'm kind of up in the air about it. I think it definitely makes sense for certain kind of civil disputes, like if you have a dispute about a tree that's overhanging your neighbor's fence or something. That's a problem that really ties up courts. It's a waste of time. It's stupid. And if you want to go to an arbiter and take that weight off the courts, and perhaps the arbiter can also make it a less acrimonious affair, so maybe the sides can go not feeling quite so upset at one another, I think that's a good thing. On the other hand, when it comes to civil matters where there's a lot at stake, be that kind of money in terms of splitting up the kind of possessions of people after a divorce, or custody, or anything else of that kind of magnitude, I honestly don't think that we should leave that up to any kind of private arbitration. I don't think people should be able to choose the rules by which such things are decided. And one of the reasons is the reason that people have mentioned, that you could pressure people socially into choosing some kind of arbitration. Like a woman's family could pressure her into accepting this Sharia court arbitration, and the outcome might be very negative for her. So I think in cases where we have a legitimate worry that people that that get forced into some kind of arbitration would come out poorly for it, I think that's why we have the legal system in the first place, and then we should use the same legal system for everyone. But of course that means absolutely no private arbitration in those cases. It all has to go before a court, and we can't actually discriminate between Muslim arbitration and any other type of private arbitration. If we're saying private arbitration is not good enough because it's too sensitive and too important an issue where we need the same law for everyone, then that's what we need to do. And yeah, if I kind of repeated people's points, or the discussion has already gone those ways, I apologize. I didn't quite follow the whole comment threads that were going around. And in either case, I just want to get just my opinion out there on the topic, because yeah, I don't know, by the videos I've made in the past, I don't know if people knew where exactly I'd be coming from. Anyways, Church of STFU, I will see you guys all later. Have a good night.